Do you guys know how many times I get asked, John, how do you come up with the ideas for Basement Surge? And I tell them, well, it's a long, lengthy process. There's a lot of hard work and dedication that goes into making an episode of the Basement Surge. A lot of sleepless nights, missed birthdays, family engagements, holidays spent down here in the studio just to create the #1 podcast from a basement here in Brooklyn, New York. So without further ado, let me show you what my day is like in coming up with an idea for an episode of the Basement Surge.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want, and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Let's go. Turn up the volume. From the basement of the Empire State, this is the Basement Surge.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, everybody. The first live show back, and I forget to turn my mic on. What kind of crap is that? I'm supposed to be a professional here. Welcome to the Weekly Surge, everybody. The live show where I basically catch you up on everything that's coming out of the basement. Everything we're doing, everything we're working on. It's been an exciting couple of weeks, and I wish I had my partner here to talk to you about this. Whether because Heather is working tonight and she couldn't be here, so I'm gonna have to do this on my own because I want to stick to the Wednesday night live shows. All right, the Wednesday night Weekly Surge. And, I feel that, like, Heather and I have been doing so much here for the brand that it's bonkers. It's bananas. But do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you're watching this over on YouTube or if you're watching this over on Facebook, hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up. Hit a follow button. Hit a like button. Hit whatever button you got to hit to make sure you get notified of fresh episodes of the Basement Surge. You got to hit that follow button and that subscribe, especially over on YouTube. So if you're watching this over on Facebook, do me a favor. Go to YouTube and hit that subscribe button if you didn't already. Let's kill this music. What do you think? All right. So we got a lot here to cover, right? a lot has happened. Let's see. We started a company. We went to a podcast movement event here in New York City. We started a consulting business. Like, you have no idea. But yeah, it's been a crazy, hectic couple weeks. I know it's been a while since I did one of these live shows. We used to do these every week. It first started off with me and Frank, when Frank was the co-host of the Basement Surge. And Frank and I used to do this every Wednesday, basically to just remind everybody, hey, we have a brand new episode that we just dropped on Monday. Go listen to it. It's pretty awesome. Which is kind of the same premise of these live shows, but these live shows, like, now stuff is actually happening to us, like, during the week. So there's actually things to talk about. Like I said, I wish Heather was here because she's been with me through this whole thing. And it's been a lot of fun and some tears, some frustration, but it's okay. Oh man, no, I'm kidding. It's been a great time. We've had a lot of fun. We started this company, so I'll get into that. But Podcast Movement was so much fun. Podcast Movement wound up having a meetup here in New York City, and Heather and I went, and we spent I want to say a good 2-3 hours there mingling with everybody. And it was our very first public appearance, I think, or network event. It was our very first networking event, and it turned out to be so good. We made a bunch of connections, and a lot of new friends. There were a lot of podcasts there. A lot of people that we gave our information out to, and we got information back, and and we made some friends. So it was a lot of fun, and the event was put on by Podcast Movement. Jared from Podcast Movement was there, and so was Tom Rossi from Buzzsprout. So that was a lot of fun. I got to shake hands with Tom, and and talk to him for a little bit about the platform, and it was just, I can't get over how much fun that was. And I can't wait for August, because we're going to be going down to Podcast Movement down in Washington, DC. That's right. We're going to Washington, DC. We're bringing the Basement Surge down to Washington, DC. And we're going to spend 3-4 days down there. Just basically hanging out and networking and trying to make new friends and getting on other shows. And it's going to be so much fun. So much fun. The wife and I, we wound up driving down to Maryland last year. That wasn't so much fun. So I think this time around, I think we're going to take the train. That should be an experience. I've never taken an Amtrak train that far, right? So so that should definitely be an experience. But yeah, the Podcast Movement here in New York City was a blast. We met a lot of interesting people, a lot of awesome podcasters, and made some friends and traded some emails, and we'll see what happens. I'm excited for everybody I met at the Podcast Movement event. It's gonna be cool to hook up with you guys again. But yeah, I mean, all right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to business, right? Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Basement Surge, right? The Basement Surge, we dropped a new episode on Sunday night this week. We started a new series over here on YouTube where it's called Random Phone Calls. Okay, where I get my cell phone. And I go through my phone book and I swipe up, and then I stop and randomly select a person to call. and they have no idea I'm gonna call. They have no idea what's coming to them, and I called them up and I asked them how their weekend is going, or what they have planned for the next week, and whether they're a podcaster or just a content creator in general. That doesn't make a difference. It could just be one of my friends or family members. Hey, what's going on? Let's have a short little conversation. The episodes are, I want to say, less than 10 minutes, and it's just a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and these people again have no idea what's coming to them. So I dropped the first episode this past Sunday. I did it with Rena Friedman Watts from Better Call Daddy. I kind of chose her. I didn't do the whole scrolling thing and stop. I kind of chose her on purpose, only because she's cool like that, and I kind of figured she'd pick up the phone. So it was a lot of fun talking to her. I interrupted her eating a bowl of cereal, but yeah, so that dropped on Sunday for the Basement Surge, and then let's see, today's Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, Heather and I are actually sitting down with Sarah Losi, right? Sarah Losi. Okay, so she is half of the team on the Branded podcast, Stick with Branded. And, she like, I just recently did an episode on Branded. If you guys haven't noticed, it's been all over socials, but, I just did an episode on Branded, and at the end, before we all, exited the green room, she got kind of jelly of Larry, that he's been on Basement Surge a couple times, and Larry Roberts, and so I told her, I said, anytime you want to come on, you're welcome, and she took me up on it. So tomorrow, Heather and I are sitting down with Sarah. Now, Heather is sitting in as a co-host with me because I had bought Sarah's book. Okay. Open this book by Sarah Losi. I had bought this, and literally the day that I got it, Heather stole it from me and started reading it. And I haven't had the chance to actually take it away from her and grab it and start reading it myself. So I really wanted to get Sarah on the show, and so I figured, well, why not? Just let's do an episode, the three of us. My wife, I'll probably just stand there. I'll just probably stay here like this, just let them talk, whatever. I mean, I got a gist of what the book is about. And so Sarah is coming on the show tomorrow. We're gonna give her the full Basement Surge experience, and so that should be fun. Teach her who want to come on Basement Surge. I'm kidding. No, anytime, Sarah, anytime. In fact, after you do the episode tomorrow on Basement Surge, I'm sure maybe I'll get you on Surgecast and we'll actually do something educational. So tomorrow, Sarah Losi's coming on the show, and look for that episode on next Monday. That's dropping this Monday coming up, which is the 10th. Monday, June 10th, on the Basement Surge, Sarah Losi. Let's see what else for Basement Surge. Basement Surge, I just told you, we went to that podcast movement event. That was a ton of fun. I don't think I have anything else going on for Basement Surge. We got Sarah coming on, and that's about it for now. If you're not following Basement Surge on socials, the socials are right here above me, so go check them out. Hit that follow button. Let's see. The next thing I want to talk about is basically what I had just said. Surgecast. Okay. Where Surgecast is a brand new podcast that I started where I want to talk about more educational, more business, more marketing about podcasting, right? About content creation, trying to help you become a better creator. And I launched this show because I've been doing this for 5 years now. And I still get people asking me, John, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? How'd you do that? Can you teach me? So instead of doing individuals, I'm coming out with a podcast. All right. We're already almost 11 episodes in, I believe, 10 episodes. And it's going great. Right. So I've already had Larry Roberts on the show, which I need to drop that another 2 weeks. I actually have a backlog of episodes recorded that I just need to drop for the next couple of weeks, which is actually really nice because Basement Surge is really just me winging it. But Surgecast has been pretty consistent, pretty steady, and I have a backlog of episodes that I need to drop for that. So look out for that in the next couple of weeks. But the most recent episode of Surgecast, I actually have Mark Savant on the show, and he talks a lot about AI. You know, he and I have quite a discussion about the rise of the machines. Okay, it's a very AI filled episode, and it was great. You know, I had a lot of fun with Mark. You know, so go check that out. That's the most recent episode, and then next week on Surgecast, this Monday coming out the 10th, I got Sarah St. John. Excuse me. I got Sarah St. John on the show from Frugalpreneur. She was amazing. Sarah and I had such a great time recording this episode. We spoke about her background, her career, and what her show is about, and the things she learned about business, because that's what her show is about. Her show is about business and being a frugal entrepreneur. You know, so it was a great time sitting down with Sarah. We had a lot of fun. It was a great conversation. So that's going to be dropping next Monday on the 10th. All right. Let's see. Let's go right through this then. Let's continue. So one thing that I alluded to in the beginning of this live show was that I started a company, right? I started a company. Now, a little background on this, right? I started the company back in February, and it was basically to just monetize and keep Basement Surge and Surgecast like under one roof. It was more like a production company for Basement Surge and Surgecast, basically everything I do, right? But it's turned into a lot more, right? So Surge Media is the new company that we started here. Heather is a co-founder with me, and we're offering a whole bunch of different services for podcasters. We're offering digital documents as far as like release forms for guests, right? We're offering custom Stream Deck icons for live streamers. We're offering, logo design, branding, corporate podcast consulting, okay, and a whole bunch of other digital podcasting forms. Now, the one thing that Heather is actually diving deep into is the podcast consulting. Okay. So whether you're a new creator, a new podcaster, somebody who just picked it up and doesn't know doesn't know how to create an episode, or doesn't know the best microphone, or doesn't know how to grow their show, or how to market their show, or what they should, like anybody who's confused about anything for their podcast, Heather is there for you. Okay. Heather is going to be running the consulting department for Surge Media. And it's funny because I had never thought that Heather would be in that position, right? So I've been doing podcasting for 5 years. And along the way, Heather has had her own shows. She's had shows with me. She's been on Basement Surge. She's done a bunch of stuff and she loves it. So whenever I talk about Basement Surge or whenever I talk about podcasting, you know, she's constantly learning with me, you know, so she knows just as much as I do about podcasting. And I want to say a little bit more on marketing than I do, but whatever. So Heather's going to be running the podcast consulting division of the company, and she's going to be working with independent podcasters. She's going to be working with the guys who are confused or guys who are having a hard time. And, you know, she loves it. She loves doing that kind of thing. So she's definitely looking forward to that. So we already have a couple calls booked, and she's super excited. But doesn't that. So yeah, so she's running the podcast consulting. Me, I'm doing the branding, I'm doing the logo design, I'm doing the corporate consulting. Okay, so where we get corporate companies to start podcasts and try to convince them that they have the money and the time to make a successful podcast, which 95% of them do. So that's what I'll be doing in the company, as well as running Basement Surge, Surgecast, and a whole bunch of marketing stuff. So anybody who knows me knows that, you know, I'm into designing and art and everything. So I'm going to help out as much as I possibly can. So we're a team. We're actually doing really good. We complement each other with things that we want to do, and you know, things that I lack, she picks up the slack, and vice versa. So it's turned out really well. Surge Media is definitely something to look out for. So if you're having trouble with your podcast, or if you want to start a podcast, head on over to surgemediany.com and book some time with Heather. All right, let's see. And while we're on the topic, Heather's going to be releasing her own podcast. That's right. Starting this Monday, the 10th, she's going to be dropping her very first episode of her new podcast called The Next Level, which is basically her helping small podcasters out, giving you advice, talking and interviewing people in the field, and just having a good time and building up her momentum within the industry. She's super excited. She can't wait to get that thing going. She'll actually be recording her episode tomorrow and dropping on Monday. So look for that every Monday. The Next Level. I'm sure once it publishes, I'll be putting links down in the show notes to everything. So don't worry about that, guys. All right. I guess that's it. Let me see. I wrote down a couple of notes. I think, yeah, that's about it. All right. So next week on the Basement Surge, look for another random phone call episode on Sunday. And then on Monday, look for that episode with Sarah Losi, author of Open This Book. And also on Monday, look for a new episode of Surgecast with Sarah St. John. You're not going to want to miss that. That was a really fun episode that she and I did together. So check that out. And on Monday, brand new episode, brand new podcast, The Next Level by Heather from Surge Media. All right, everybody. I guess that's about it tonight. Just wanted to stop in, give you guys a little bit of an update, talk about podcast movement for a little bit and what we got going on down here on Surge. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. If you want more information on anything I spoke about tonight, head on over to surgemediany.com. Everything I spoke about is over there. And be sure to sign up for our newsletter over on the website. Enter your email address and get some news during the week. I released some pretty cool stuff. But all right, everybody, I will see you next time.